Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time that we make ourselves a Devour perk tier list. I've seen other people's tier lists, I've heard other people's thoughts, but I think it's finally time that I share some thoughts of my own on the game. How this is going to work is in the S tier. S tier is going to be the best perks in the game, no question about it. A tier is good but not great. B is useful in certain situations, and C is going to be niche at best, and D is going to be save your ritual tokens. First thing we're going to be starting off with is Accelerator. I think this is Accelerator. There we go. Acceleration. Movement speed increased by 30% for 20 seconds after being revived. Let's just get this out of the way. Niche at best. Acceleration is only useful in certain situations, which is why I suggested that they should mix Acceleration and Field Medic together with a combination of something else, maybe. Maybe the Quartermaster, mix together Acceleration, Field Medic, and Acceleration, or Quartermaster, and get all three of those perks at once. If they combine this with Field Medic and Quartermaster, it would probably be one of the best support perks in the game, with a couple of adjustments to the stats. But yeah, that's Acceleration. Pretty meh. But it could be useful in certain situations. Crawler, okay. So here's an interesting story about Crawler. Crawler is a pretty straightforward perk in the fact that you get downed, or if you're crawling through a vent in the slaughterhouse, you gain 150% speed if you're downed, but only 100% speed increase if you're crawling while, alive. So in that case, I would actually put Crawler in B tier. The reason why I'm putting it in B tier instead of C tier, which I literally said niche at best, is because you're gonna be crawling a whole bunch in the slaughterhouse, whether or not you hoard all the pigs inside of one room or something, so you know where they all are. Because crawlers only spawn in vents, and since crawlers only spawn in vents, guess where you're gonna be going to most of the time. And why not just give yourself the ability to speed up that process a little bit? I understand if you disagree, because honestly, not the best perk in the game by any stretch, but not useless either. Alright, Evader, next up. Honestly, A tier. I used to think that Evader was the best perk in the game when I was doing, Nightmare solo on the farmhouse. That was a long time ago. And when I first got this perk and I was getting chased down by an Azazel, I actually thought, I was God. I actually thought I was God, because I just kept outrunning her. It was so fun to just sprint around the arena while getting chased down. But of course, after the release of the town and the slaughterhouse, it's really lost its value. On the inn, it pretty much makes you invincible, because you always outrun Zara no matter how fast she is. She's fast, but she has a maximum speed that she just can't outrun you at when you use Evader. If I remember correctly, I haven't even tried that out. Yeah, overall, A tier perk. But the reason why it's lost its value in the town and the slaughterhouse is because Sam literally just shoots you. He's not that fast. He's not extremely fast, but he shoots you and kills your movement speed by a lot. So yeah, not a fantastic perk because of those two reasons. And also because Nathan will literally just catch up to you. You're better off just trying to stun him. Or just juking him or whatever. Next up, Fast Worker. Do I even have to explain myself? For those of you who don't know, Fast Worker makes long interacts, not including revive, 50% faster. It's literally the best perk in the game. I don't even... if there was an S plus tier... You know what? I'm making that right now. That's it. Fast Worker's the best perk in the game. I know it may seem like I'm overhyping this perk because, 50% increase. What good could that possibly do? Dude. Without Fast Worker, I highly doubt that I would be able to complete the town or the slaughterhouse on Nightmare solo. It's carried me so hard, you would have no idea. Especially since with the new maps coming out, they are making long interacts way more and more common. On the town, you gotta curse books, you gotta burn the books. And it just... Without this perk, it can become a real drag. Don't even get me started on the inn, because you gotta clean the water, clean the eggs, sacrifice the egg, and then clean the water again. That's almost 4 steps in order to actually get things done. Field Medic is up next. Honestly... Field Medic is pretty good all around, except for the fact that you already res people very fast. So I would actually put this in high B tier, simply due to the fact that with Field Medic, it makes rezzing people a lot faster, which is good, because, you know, it revives players 70% faster, which I think they recently buffed this perk in recent times. Yeah, B tier for me. I'm glad to see we're kind of on the same page here, Carnage. But yeah, the reason why I'm putting it in B tier, it sounds good, especially for the newer player. But when it comes to, you know, fast-paced situations, yes, it might come down to the last second, but honestly, if you find a medkit, if someone's like on top of a medkit, you'll res them in like 2 seconds. So 70% faster of 2 seconds is like a negligible amount, considering the fact that you already res them pretty quickly. But yeah, that's that. Like I said, if they combined Acceleration with Field Medic and Quartermaster, would be a god tier support perk. All right, fully charged. Okay. So this perk is a bit of an interesting one in the way that when you use a battery, your UV charge, you know, the bar at the top right, is not consumed for 20 seconds after using a battery. That's good, especially on Nightmare, because batteries can be very precious. Problem is that, you know, it's still a time thing, and if you find a battery, you're probably more likely than not having to hoard them in one place to make it more easily accessible, so you don't have to check every single location. Looking at you, Slaughterhouse. But it's not a bad perk at all. It's actually pretty good, in the sense that it would really help out in certain situations. But overall, not a fantastic perk, but not terrible. Actually, I'm gonna put it in B. We got Immune. I haven't used this perk. Like, there's a lot of perks in this game that I actually haven't used, but I'd be willing to give this one a chance, especially considering how most maps nowadays just want to spam slowing enemies, because, again, Farmhouse doesn't have slowing enemies because the crawlers just grab you and hold you in place until they kill you, or you kill them with UV. Asylum, same thing, has the wheelchair guys. Not very useful on those maps. So I think I would actually put this in C tier. I wish it were more useful. I wish it would give you like some sort of immunity to the crawlers on the farmhouse or whatever. It would be very useful. Anyway, next up, we got Long-Sighted, I believe. Just don't bother. Don't bother with this perk. The problem with Long-Sighted is that for new players, I can sort of see its usefulness, but the fact that it boosts your sight by like, what, 50%? 60%? That's stupid. That is stupid. This perk needs to be like the noob-friendly perk. Maybe if it would allow you to see batteries and other useful stuff through walls, then it would probably be an S tier perk. D tier, it has to be higher. Yeah, the percentage has to be higher, or it allows you to see certain items through walls. Like, you know, batteries, not medkits, but like, you know, secondary ritual items, like cleaner, gas items. You know, I'm just spitballing here, but in its current state, 60% greater distance of view distance. Pros are never going to use this because they probably memorized nearly every single location on every single map. So yeah, kind of useless perk in my opinion. Quartermaster allows you to see medkits through walls. Ignoring the fact that you can already kind of do that when you're downed, it was the first perk I ever bought, so clearly it meant something to me. I'm not gonna put it like at a higher tier because I'm nostalgic for it or whatever, but I'm gonna put it in B tier simply because it's pretty useful all around. It allows you to see medkits through walls, and you know, sometimes people don't memorize where the medkit locations are. Like, okay, I'm still alive on my team, so I'm gonna look around. Oh, there's a medkit. All right, one of you tries to go for the medkit, and if you die, then I'll know where it is, and then I'll go grab it, and then I'll res, and then, you know, domino effect, keep the whole team alive. Overall, pretty decent perk, straightforward, allows you to be a good member for your team. I've already said my piece about Field Medic and combining it with that, so yeah. Regeneration. Oh, okay. I'm actually going to put this in A tier. Regeneration regenerates your UV in normal and hard difficulty 50% faster. If you're doing this solo, you get your UV back almost instantly. But if you're with friends, it's useful, but But it's definitely a good starter perk. I would recommend this one because it'll help keep you alive, and it will sort of help with you know, certain situations where you don't want to run low on UV in a crucial moment. Still, though, the best way to keep your UV in check is to not waste it on demons. That's all I gotta say. Next up, Repellent. C tier. I could definitely imagine certain situations where it's useful. I'm worried that I'll put too many perks in B tier, but I'm honestly thinking of putting it at the bottom of B tier because it's useful in the sense that it'll slow down every single minion that's close to you, but it still has the problem of you just get grabbed by a minion and then you're dead unless you have UV. Same with the Asylum wheelchair guys. But I will give it this. It's useful on the town because the ghosts are so annoying. I don't really know about the boars on the slaughterhouse because they just charge you anyway, so I don't think it's worth putting it any higher than this. Next up, Speedy. Oh boy. Where do I start with this perk? Everyone just treats this perk as if it's the best perk in the game, which, to be fair, it is useful in every situation. Speedy allows you to be 7% faster all the time, no matter what you're doing. Unless it doesn't do that when you're downed or crawling. I'm not sure about that. Speedy is extremely overrated, but that doesn't mean it's a bad perk, which is why I'm going to put this at the bottom of S tier due to the fact that it's a constant speed boost, it allows you to be fast like all the time, and it's the only other perk I run on Asylum. Supercharged gives the player a 30% movement speed increase whenever the player uses a battery, which is good, except for the fact that Evader, you know, it doesn't have a time limit. As long as you're getting chased by Azazel, there is like nothing, there's nothing that can stop it. As long as you're getting chased by Azazel, the speed increase will never stop. All this perk does is encourage people to be toxic. Like, I literally ran into a guy who hid batteries inside of a teapot on the inn. Now you might say, skill issue, blah, blah, blah. You don't need batteries or something like that. I don't know what difficulty it was on, but still, doing that is a dick move. Like, just don't do that, bro. I see what Tarvish puts it in A tier. It's a good speed increase, except for the fact that it's only 5% faster than Evader, which Evader is useful for the fact that it keeps you alive, kinda. So honestly, I'm just gonna put this in C tier. All it does is encourage people to be toxic, and I'm just not a fan of this perk. Actually, no, I'm actually putting it below immune. Next up, Supply Runner. Honestly, a slept-on perk. Not just because I beat Farmhouse Solo on Nightmare with it, but it is another sort of constant speed boost. As long as you have a ritual item like a goat, rat, pig, egg, even an uncleansed egg, I'm pretty sure counts towards this condition. And a book, cursed or uncursed, it gives you a 15% movement speed increase. But next up, Team Leader. S tier. Just S tier, literally all across the board, except for the fact that, again, long interactions, Asylum, blah, blah, blah. Asylum sucks. Don't at me. I just kind of forget that map exists. But yeah, Team Leader allows you to do, I think it's 100% faster. Yeah, long interacts, including revive, are 100% faster within 5 meters of any alive player. That's good. Because on the Slaughterhouse, there's going to be a lot of times where your team is just going to be standing idly by with the pig. Like, they're just going to be standing around, like, rotating their heads like this. And then, what better use than to use your alive teammates that are barely doing anything as a means to increase the speed of what you're doing? Sounds pretty good. So yeah, that's why I'm actually putting this in S tier, because it'll increase the speed of your long interacts. It's not like a constant speed increase. You need to have a teammate nearby, which can sort of bring down the speed of a speedrun, kinda. But for overall use, I would actually kind of put this at the... Would I really put this here? I mean, they're all great in their own right. Alright, well, with that being said, I'll see if I can shift these around later on. But next up on our list is Trapper. I'm gonna be honest, this is definitely a B tier perk. I'm going to put this below Quartermaster simply because it'll always show the last ritual item that you need. Like, say you're at 9 out of 10, Anapuerta's running around the yard, and you're like, oh my god, where's the last goat? Where's the last goat? I'm so scared. Like, you're a new player, and one of you has Trapper, it's like, it's in the front yard, go, go, go! And you know where it is, which kind of increases your chance to live, but then again, why are you stuck at 9 out of 10? That's kind of a death sentence, because Anna is just going to be running around nonstop, because the second she kills someone, she's just going to get mad again. And although that does give you a few seconds to yourself, it's not good overall, because you don't want to be at 9 out of 10. Because that's when the Azazel is going to be its fastest, most aggressive, and just... I think when it comes to 9 out of 10, the monster will always know where you are if you're holding the ritual item. So, Trapper's good, but it's not great. Which is why, I don't know. Should it go in A tier? You guys decide. Next up is Under Pressure. Don't even bother with this perk. Do not even bother with this perk. Under Pressure, long interacts, including Revive, are 150% faster when last player alive. Ignoring the fact that the chance of you being the last person alive, unless you guys orchestrate it, is second to none. Even if you were to be the last person alive, yes, you could res your teammates, but the second you res someone, that speed boost is going to go away. Just don't bother. Don't bother. Just run either Team Leader or Fast Worker. It's so much better in every way. It doesn't have a stupid condition like that. Next up, I believe, is Conservationalist. UV Charge regenerates 80% faster when Flashlight is off. It doesn't work in Nightmare mode because you don't get UV Charge back. It's not bad. I'm going to be honest, this perk is not bad at all. In fact, I used it when I first played the Slaughterhouse. You know, before my friends and I played it. It's a long story. But I actually used this perk when it first came out. I didn't really see the use of this perk. Because, obviously, with multiplayer, your UV charges really slowly. But they actually buffed this. They buffed the usefulness of this perk when the map actually came out, I'm pretty sure. So, honestly, I would probably put this above Regeneration. I think this is Regeneration right here. And I'm saying this because of the fact that I don't know if it's more expensive than Regeneration. But Conservationalist gets you your UV charge faster. And, you know, having the lights off is kind of... I don't know if it's really deadly, but you're probably just going to be hiding inside of a room waiting for your teammates to get to you, so, you know. You're gonna be hiding inside of a room when all your teammates are dead except for one, and Nathan is just scurrying around the place. And you're on top of a mech and you're waiting for your teammates to get on top of you. So, you know, with your flashlight off, you're gonna get your UV charge back faster. I see no real downsides to this. Next up. God damn it, I hate this perk. Powerful Insight. Batteries are highlighted through walls. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wild. Every single time you play Nightmare solo, you complain about battery spawns. Wouldn't having a perk that allows you to see battery spawns through walls be extremely useful? It would be, if it weren't for the fact that it doesn't increase the length, like the distance that you see the battery away from. So basically, it's useless. Like, okay, so take the bank, for example, in the town. I placed the battery inside of the door. I put the battery right in front of the door. I walked backwards until it disappeared from my vision. I didn't even make it halfway down the stairs. And I'm not talking about, like, the back door steps where you go down and, you know, go into the safes and all that. I'm talking about going outside of the door. Like, outside where the sand path is. I walked down the steps, it disappeared. I get what they were going for with this perk, but they need to buff this thing if they want to give people on Nightmare an easier challenge. Or, you know, like an easier time with finding batteries. Like, they need to increase the distance you see them from. I literally made my name on their Discord, Buff Powerful Insight. Like, hashtag Buff Powerful Insight. Unbelievable, dude. I cannot believe that this perk is still in its current state right after the Slaughterhouse update. That perk is not getting enough love. Which sucks because it has the potential to be one of the best perks for Nightmare solo runs. And honestly, I think that's what it should be. I think it should be good in that one area. Like, it should allow you to see it from like 200% away. I know that sounds a bit major, but like when it comes to batteries, they are endlessly useful, especially for Nightmare Solo. Can you imagine how useful that would be? Like 200% more distance from seeing the batteries, as well as seeing them through walls. Seriously, just pointing that out there. This perk needs more love. And you know what? I think this perk tier list is pretty solid. So yeah, that'll be it, folks. If you guys enjoyed the video or want to tell me how wrong I am, be sure to let me know in the comments, and I will hopefully get back to you in the next video, which might be in the next 5 months. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will happily see you in the next one.